In 2018, a hydrogen truck appeared in a desert. It cruised down an empty road in a promotional video that claimed 1,000 horsepower and a 1,200-mile range. The truck was not driving. It was rolling. Someone had towed it to the top of a slope, tilted the camera sideways, and pressed record. 2 years later, the company that made it would briefly be worth more than Ford. The company was Nikola Motor. Trevor Milton founded it on April 15, 2014, with $2 million from a metals manufacturer in Ohio. The idea: build hydrogen fuel cell semi-trucks that would replace diesel. The pitch was clean. The timing was perfect. And Trevor Milton was a remarkably enthusiastic narrator of his own future. On December 1, 2016, 600 guests filled a hangar in Salt Lake City. Milton unveiled the Nikola One. He claimed 800 to 1,200 miles of range, 1,000 horsepower. Ryder agreed to be the distribution partner. Investors were delighted. On June 4, 2020, Nikola merged with a SPAC called VectoIQ and began trading on the NASDAQ. Within 5 days, the stock hit $79.73. Market cap, briefly, exceeded $30 billion, briefly larger than Ford Motor Company. Ford, that year, sold over 4 million vehicles. Nikola had sold 0. On September 8, 2020, General Motors announced it would take an 11% stake in Nikola and build a Nikola pickup truck called the Badger. The deal was worth around $2 billion, the kind of partnership that turns a story stock into a real company. 2 days later, on September 10, 2020, a research firm named Hindenburg published a 76-page report. The report alleged that Nikola was, in their words, an intricate fraud built on dozens of lies, including the 2018 promotional video. According to former employees cited in the report, the Nikola One in that video had no engine, no motors, and no hydrogen fuel cell installed. The truck had been released at the top of a 2.05-degree slope and filmed rolling down. The camera was tilted to make the road look flat. 4 days later, on September 14, 2020, Nikola issued a formal response. The company admitted the truck was not driving under its own propulsion. Their defense was that they had never actually said it was. On September 20, 2020, Trevor Milton resigned. On November 30, 2020, General Motors walked away from the equity deal. The Badger was canceled. In July 2021, the Southern District of New York indicted Trevor Milton on 2 counts of securities fraud and 2 counts of wire fraud. The trial ran through September and October 2022. On October 14, 2022, after 5 hours of deliberation, the jury convicted him on 3 of the 4 counts. 1 count of securities fraud, 2 counts of wire fraud. Acquitted on the 2nd securities count. On December 18, 2023, Judge Edgardo Ramos sentenced Milton to 4 years in federal prison, a $1 million fine, and $168 million in restitution. Prosecutors had asked for 11. Milton appealed. He never served a day. On February 19, 2025, Nikola Corporation filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in Delaware. $47 million in cash, up to $10 billion in liabilities. The company that had briefly been worth $30 billion was now worth less than the inventory on the lot. By December 12, 2025, Nikola's assets were transferred to a liquidating trust. The Badger pickup never shipped. Retail shareholders lost over 99%. Nikola's workforce dropped to 1. In October 2024, Trevor Milton and his wife donated over $1.8 million to Donald Trump's re-election campaign. In March 2025, federal prosecutors asked Judge Ramos to order Milton to pay $680 million in restitution to defrauded Nikola shareholders and $15.2 million to a private wire fraud victim. 2 weeks later, on March 28, 2025, Donald Trump pardoned him. The conviction stayed on the record. The sentence vanished. The restitution vanished. The shareholders, the victim, the system, all received 0. Trevor Milton said Trump called him personally that night. In a country built on second chances, his came with a discount.